Styrofoam print. Here's an example of a styrofoam print that I made using black ink and a piece of white styrofoam. You're going to draw in the styrofoam, but I suggest you trace a drawing first into the foam so you don't waste the foam with mistakes. You see how it's making an indent when I press with the pencil? I'm going to go over my drawing and deepen all of my lines by pressing a little bit harder. I want my lines to be like grooves in the styrofoam. Then when it's time, I'm going to ink it up. This is a brayer, and the brayer has black ink on it, printing ink. You could try this with black paint if you don't have any ink at home. You could apply it with a paintbrush. I'm covering my entire surface with the black ink with a thin coating of printing ink. Notice it's not going down into the grooves. It's just staying on the surface of the styrofoam. I can tell it's not quite enough ink. Do you see how it's not getting very black in some places? I want it to be darker than that. So I'm going to add a little bit more of my printing ink. This is what it looks like. Squeeze out just a bit, and then rub it back and forth in different directions to spread it out nice and thin. If you get too much ink on that brayer, it's going to fill up the grooves. Let's try this one. I can hear it's just perfect. It's sticky and tacky. It's making it nice and black, and it's still not filling in my grooves. If the grooves do get filled in, you can always wash off the ink and start again, but be sure to dry the plate before you put more ink on it. I'm covering it now with a white piece of paper, and I'm going to use my hands to rub firmly everywhere. I'm holding it down with one hand so it won't move around, and I'm pressing with a lot of weight on the paper so the black ink will transfer onto my white page. And now it's time for the big reveal. Grab a corner of your paper and slowly and gently peel it back away from the styrofoam. You will notice the picture came out in reverse order. When you create a print, you're making a reflection of the original drawing. Here's my finished print. You can make another by inking up the foam in black again, or you might want to wash off the black and try another color. I put mine on the bottom of the sink and run water over it and scrub gently with a paintbrush. Be sure to dry the styrofoam plate well before you use it again. Here's what happens if you use not enough ink. I made a second styrofoam print, also of a dinosaur, and I wasn't happy with how it turned out. It's kind of grainy and light. So when I did the rubbing, I pressed very hard, but when I peeled it off, the black ink did not transfer completely. And I think the problem was I didn't have enough ink on in the first place. So if that happens, go back and re-ink it and try again.